All right, so you want to talk crypto. You want to dive into the wild world of crypto forecasting.
Let's do it. It gets pretty interesting.
I'm always up for a good deep dive, especially when it comes to something as unpredictable as crypto. And, you sent over some research about a model that claims it can actually predict those crazy price swings.
Yeah, and it's not just some, off the wall theory. This is a deep learning model developed by some pretty sharp minds over at Macau University of Science and Technology.
Oh, okay, so we're not talking about some, magic crystal ball here.
Not exactly. It's called WAMC, stands for Weighted and Attentive Memory Channels.
WMC, huh? Sounds a little intimidating, to be honest.
Maybe a little, but that's deep learning for you, right? Always got to have a catchy name. But trust me, the concept behind it is actually pretty cool, even if you're not a total tech whiz.
All right, you're on. Break it down for me. What makes this YMC thing so special? Why should anyone really care about it?
Well, think about it like this. Predicting cryptocurrency prices is like, have you ever seen a bunch of squirrels all hopped up on caffeine?
Can't say that I have.
It's chaotic, man.
Yeah.
Totally unpredictable. They're whims around in all directions, and good luck trying to figure out where any one of them is going to go next.
Okay, I get the picture. Organized chaos, maybe.
Exactly. And that's why traditional forecasting models like Arima, they often just don't cut it in the crypto world. They're not built to handle that level of volatility and interconnectedness.
Okay, that makes sense. You're trying to impose order on something that, by its nature, kind of thrives on being a little wild, a little unpredictable.
Exactly. Now, WAMC, on the other hand, it takes a different approach. It's like instead of trying to predict the movement of just one caffeinated squirrel, it's looking at the entire park, understanding how all the squirrels are interacting, influencing each other.
So it's less about predicting a single coin's price and more about understanding the entire crypto ecosystem.
You got it. It's looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, all the major players, and it's trying to figure out how their movements are connected, how they influence each other.
Okay, now that is interesting. It's like instead of just looking at individual players, you're analyzing the entire team dynamics. So how does it do that? What's going on under the hood, so to speak?
Well, WAMC uses a three-pronged approach. Think of them like it's secret weapons.
Three secret weapons, huh? All right, now you've really got my attention. Lay it on me. What's secret weapon number one?
All right, so secret weapon number one is something called attentive memory, and it's basically WAMC's way of learning from the past.
So it's like it's studying history, trying to identify patterns and trends that might repeat themselves.
You got it. It uses a specific type of neural network called a GRU, which stands for Gated Recurrent Unit. And basically this GRU, it gobbles up tons of historical price data for all four of those cryptocurrencies we mentioned.
Okay, so it's remembering, or at least processing, all of that past data. But crypto's been around for a while now. That's got to be a massive amount of information. Is it really remembering everything, every little price fluctuation?
That's the cool part. It's not just blindly memorizing everything. It uses something called a self-attention mechanism to figure out which past price points were actually the most important.
Interesting. So it's like remembering the game-winning shot, not every single dribble down the court. It's identifying the moments that really mattered.
Precisely. And not just in the short term, but in the long term, too. Think of it like this. It's remembering both a player's recent hot streak and their overall career performance. It's using both to understand their potential.
Okay, so WAMC is building this memory bank of important price moments. Got it. But how does that translate into an actual prediction? That's where the next secret weapon comes in, right?
Got it. Secret weapon number two is what we call channel-wise weighting.
Channel-wise weighting? Okay. Sounds very technical. What exactly does that mean?
So we've got this highlight reel of important price movements, right? Now, imagine WAMC putting on its analyst hat and saying, okay, which of these cryptos really drives the action? Who are the heavy hitters in this market?
Oh, interesting. So it's figuring out which cryptocurrencies have the biggest influence on the others.
Exactly. Which ones are the trendsetters? The ones that everyone else seems to follow. And it does this by analyzing all the price data from all four cryptocurrencies and figuring out how much weight, how much importance to give to each one.
So it's not just looking at individual price histories, it's understanding how these cryptocurrencies influence and react to each other.
Precisely. It's recognizing that the crypto market is like a giant interconnected web, and that each cryptocurrency plays a unique role in that web.
This is already getting complicated, and we're only on secret weapon number two.
Oh, but we're just getting started. Secret weapon number three is where things get really interesting.
Okay, lay it on me. What's secret weapon number three? What's this convolution and pooling all about?
All right, so imagine WAMC putting on its detective hat.
Right? Okay, a crypto detective. I like it.
It's sifting through all that data, all those relationships it's learned, and it's looking for patterns, for clues, just like a detective would.
So it's not just about understanding the past, it's about using the past to predict the future.
Exactly. And that's where convolution and pooling come in.
Okay, but those are just like fancy words. What do they actually mean?
You're right, they sound complicated, but they're actually pretty intuitive. Convolution is all about identifying patterns, kind of like when you're trying to pick out a familiar face in a crowd.
Got it. And pooling is about simplifying the data, boiling it down to its essence.
Exactly. It's like imagine you're looking at a giant map of the crypto market. Pooling helps WAMZ zoom out, focus on the big picture, and see the overall trends instead of getting lost in the small details.
So convolution finds the patterns, pooling simplifies them, and together they help WAMC make predictions. That's pretty slick.
It is. And the cool thing is, this whole process happens automatically behind the scenes. WAMC is constantly learning and refining its predictions as it gets exposed to more data. It's like a self-improving crystal ball, always getting better at seeing the future of the crypto market.
Okay, this all sounds super impressive in theory, but does it actually work in the real world?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And the answer is, well, the researchers put WAMC to the test, and the results are pretty impressive.
All right, hit me with the details. How'd it do? Did it actually manage to predict anything accurately?
They ran it against a whole bunch of other prediction models, some of them the gold standards in the field. And you know what? WAMC consistently came out on top.
No way. It beat all the competition.
It did. And not just by a little bit. We're talking significantly better predictions, especially for certain cryptocurrencies. Like, it really seemed to have a knack for predicting Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash in particular.
Interesting. So maybe YMC has its favorites.
Maybe so. But here's the thing. It performed well across all four cryptocurrencies. It wasn't just a one-trick pony.
So this YMC is the real deal, huh? A true crypto forecasting champion.
It certainly looks that way. But remember, it's not just about predicting whether a price is going to go up or down.
Oh, there's more. What else can it do?
WAMC can also predict the momentum of price changes. It's not just telling you if a price is going up, it's telling you how fast and for how long.
Hold on. So it's predicting how powerfully a price is going to move. That's next level stuff.
Exactly. Imagine the possibilities if you could anticipate not just the direction, but the intensity of the move.
That would be huge. No more just guessing which way the market's going. You'd have a real edge. But there's got to be a catch. There always is, right?
Well, every technology has its limitations, right? And in this case, the researchers were primarily focused on daily closing prices.
Okay, so it's looking at the big picture, not every little blip in the market.
Right. And in the fast-paced world of crypto, where prices can swing dramatically in a matter of minutes, that's definitely something to consider.
Yeah, it's like the difference between analyzing a game after it's happened versus trying to call the plays live.
Exactly. And that's where things get even more interesting. What if we could bring WAMC into that real-time space?
Now you're talking. But how do we do that? How do we take this already impressive model and make it even more powerful?
Well, that's where we start getting into the really cutting-edge stuff. Imagine if WAMC could not only analyze historical price data, but also factor in real-time data, like trading volume and social media sentiment.
Wow, it'd be like YMC having his finger on the pulse of the entire crypto market 24/7.
Exactly. But there are definitely some challenges to overcome.
Like what? What's stopping us from making this a reality?
Well, we're talking about processing massive amounts of data, like really, really massive amounts of data in real time.
Yeah, and not just any data, but we're talking news feeds, social media, trading platforms.
Exactly. It's a lot to handle, even for a sophisticated model like WAMC. We need to find ways to filter out the noise and focus on the signals that truly matter.
And then there's the whole issue of actually getting access to all that real-time data in the first place, right? I mean, some of it's probably scattered across a million different sources.
You're absolutely right. It's a huge challenge. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose, except the fire hose is spraying data from every corner of the internet.
So what's the solution? How do we wrangle this data fire hose and turn it into something YMC can actually use?
That is the million-dollar question, and that's exactly what researchers are trying to figure out right now.
It's like we're talking about giving YMC like superhuman senses or something. It's already got this incredible memory. It can spot patterns like nobody's business, but now we want it to be able to react in real time, like it's actually in the market making trades alongside the humans.
It's a big challenge, no doubt, but the potential payoff, man, it's huge.
So how do we get there? What's the roadmap for giving WAMC these real-time superpowers?
Well, we're already seeing some incredible advancements in data collection and processing. That's got to continue. We need faster, more efficient ways to gather and filter that data fire hose you were talking about.
Okay, so faster data processing, check. What else?
And this is where those self-attention mechanisms we talked about earlier become even more important. We need WAMC to get even smarter, even more selective about the data it focuses on.
So it's not just about processing more data, it's about processing the right data, the data that actually matters.
Exactly. It's like, imagine you're a detective, right? You walk into a crime scene, there's stuff everywhere, clues scattered all over the place. You can't just focus on everything at once. You got to zero in on the details that are actually going to help you crack the case.
Okay, that makes sense. So we're talking about a WAMC that can cut through the noise, find those crucial signals in the data that are actually going to give us an edge.
Exactly. And think about this right now. WAMC is mostly being used to predict prices, which is awesome. But imagine a future where models like this can do so much more.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Imagine using WAMC to understand market sentiment in real time, or to manage risk more effectively, or even to help policymakers make better decisions about how to regulate the crypto space.
Whoa, okay. Now we're talking about some next level stuff. Not just predicting the market, but actually shaping it.
It's a possibility. It's all about pushing the boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
seeing what these models are truly capable of. And that's what makes this whole field so exciting.
It's like we're on the verge of something huge, something that could completely change how we think about and interact with the crypto market.
Absolutely. This is just the beginning, and it's only going to get wilder from here.
Well, there you have it, folks. We've gone from the basics of crypto forecasting to the cutting edge of deep learning and artificial intelligence. And along the way, we've glimpsed a future where machines like YMC could potentially reshape the entire financial landscape. What a ride.
It's been a wild one. Thanks for having me.
The pleasure was all mine. And to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, never stop diving deep.